right, hello. Welcome to the first day of CMSC 201. Okay, let's see. Gotta find a video because it's already streaming somewhere else. Where are you streaming? I must find you. Nope. Okay. Hang on. All right, here we are. Let's start. Okay. I'll just wait until you're done. Okay. Holy crap. All right, so this is CMSC 201. Just trying to get rid of a huge amount of other garbage that's going on. Okay, so this is the Introduction to Computer Science. Let's make this bigger. I'm just going to go through the syllabus a little bit today. No, you do not attend at both 1 and 4 p.m. That's if you want to take this class twice. Okay, so there are going to be 3 lectures today, or 3 lectures of the course. You either have me, or you have Marcella, or you have Al. All right, I have to turn off Steam. Cool. All right. So office hours are going to be on Discord. I'll go over that in a little bit. Python Crash Course is the book. Let me pull it up on Amazon. Oh, look, it's even cheaper. So you don't have to buy it on Amazon or anything, but I think that this is actually a pretty decent textbook. So I would recommend picking up a copy of it. I don't care if you get an online copy. I don't care if you get a physical copy. I don't really care. The only thing that you're required to do is just get, if you're going to say that you want a book for this class, this is the book for this class. Yep, so, let's see. Yep, it's a pretty good book because it kind of, the way that it works is that it kind of follows the general gist of the course as we're going to do it. So that's that. Okay, so let's go back to the syllabus. All right, so that's all I want to say about the textbook. I'm saying it's highly recommended, so it's not required. So technically, if you really don't want it, you don't have to get it, etc. Okay. Yeah, edition does not matter. I'm assuming the first and second edition should be similar enough. Okay. I think that's all I really have to say about this first part. The course overview, I think this is basically copy-pasted right out of the course description on the university website, so I'm going to ignore it. Course objectives. I guess I kept this part in. Sure. So we're going to solve programming problems using modern coding language such as Python. We're not such as Python. It is Python. Define key concepts in programming, such as loops, lists, functions, and selection structures. Not sure what that means, so just loops, lists, functions. We can add variables, print, input, etc. So that's basically the list of things that we're going to do this semester. We're going to do variables and print statements and input. Then we're going to do for loops and lists. Then we're going to do while loops, functions, recursion, classes. And so that's basically going to be like the list of topics that we do. And of course, just saying all those topics doesn't really mean anything. What I mean is that we're going to use those things, use for loops, use while loops, use all these things to solve problems. So that's the point. So problem solving stuff. So use UMBC's Unix system to create, and we'll get to that. Patience, everyone. Transfer the skills, hopefully. I know this is the idea, right? This is the goal. Okay. Cool. You don't have to do anything prior to this lecture. That's why I didn't send anything for you to do. I will show you everything you need to do. So have patience. Okay. Well, I don't know how you can be confused yet. I haven't talked about anything yet. So, okay. All right. So let me go over the way that the course is going to be graded. Okay. So, homework 0, I'm going to release that today to you. Some of you noticed on the Discord already that, that homework 0 is out for some other students. I released it to the other professors, and I think some of them might have sent it out. But, whatever. Yeah, so I'll send out homework 0 today. I might even describe it a little bit. But homework 0 is basically going to be what we talk about today. Then there's going to be 6 other homeworks, each worth 50 points. Total is 300. Projects, there are going to be 3 of them. And each of them are going to be worth 100 points, and the total of that is 300. And then I hope that we're going to get up to about 12 labs this semester. If we have fewer labs, then they'll all just count for 10 points. And, it'll just be averaged out of 100. If we get above that, then we'll drop up to 2 of your lowest labs. And we'll talk more about labs in just a second. So labs are the things that some people call discussions. And so, okay. There are 3 exams, and I have significantly down-weighted them versus previous semesters because basically online is just no good for standard exam type stuff. So unfortunately, you can't really give exams in the same way that you did, or that I did before. So the final exam used to be worth 200, it's now 120. These exams are only worth 75 each. So actually your projects are individually worth more than exams. I think on average it's worth about the same. But yeah, so I've definitely reweighted the course a little bit. I'll talk more, so I don't want to get too much, this is just how the course is structured. I don't want to get too much into all the stuff until we have more to talk about. So the last thing is I'm going to send out an academic integrity quiz, probably before the first project. It's just there to remind you that I don't want your name to pop up on any cheating result program that we use. Please, I'll talk more about that later. Don't have that happen. Again, we'll talk about it. So here's the grading scale. So basically, this you can ignore unless you are like a returning student of some kind. Generally, the point is in this class, you need to get a B in order to move on to 202. And the reason for that is not because we are terribly mean, but because we realize that if you don't get the B in 201, the general grade you're going to get in 202 is not a C, but probably a D or an F. And so, like, there's a problem where people, if you go into 202 at the C level and you're just slightly less than prepared, then you're going to have a giant problem in that class. And so that's why the requirement is like it is. So if you notice, there's 1,000 points in the course. Overall, the point system works like this. So 900 to 1,000 is an A, 800 to 899 is a B, 700 to 799 is a C, and 600 to 699 is a D. And let's not even talk about that. Okay. So that's really all I have to say about the grading scale in this class. It is totally possible to get an A in the class. It is not, this is not one of the classes where we're like, only 2 students get an A or something like that. No, if you work hard in this class, or if you have some programming experience, or both, it is possible to get an A, but you do have to work for it. This is not terribly an easy class, unfortunately, so I will say that up front. This is not the easiest class you'll ever take. Okay. And I see that a lot of people or 3 people at least, are saying that this is your first programming class. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. You can definitely still get an A if you don't have any programming experience, but you just have to work. Okay. So I've written a little bit. So I basically rewrote the syllabus. So let's see what I wrote. Office hours. Office hours are on the Discord server. So theoretically, all of you should have received a Discord link to the projects are not going to be more difficult than they used to be. I'm just changing the weighting on exams versus projects. What do I want to say? Okay, let's close that. Let me pull up Python. Okay. Yeah. So if you haven't received an invite to the Discord office hours, you should send me an email. As you see right now, now that everybody's joining up to the Discord office hours, it's chaos. If you haven't used Discord before, that's quite all right. You will be fine, I hope. You'll figure it out. There's just channels, and you talk on them, and then if you click on certain channels, if you have a microphone, you can talk with your voice. So it's either text channels or voice channels. You should also see your lab section channel. So there should be at least 2 channels. I think 1 or 2 of the TAs have created like an introduction channel or something like that. But right now there should be just a general chat and a general voice channel for each lab section. And I'll talk more about lab sections when we get to it. So the only thing I'll say is avoid sending me DMs on the Discord server. The reason why is because during busy times, I get busy and people will just blast me with like 20 messages, and yours might get buried. And so if you need me to respond to something, send an email, okay? Don't just assume that because, I sent it to him in a Discord DM, that I'm going to have seen it, because it's possible that I will have seen it and scanned by it and then forgot to deal with it because for whatever reason, and then I will never come back to it, right? Because I'll get buried in other things. So try to make sure that you talk to me via email. If I'm around on Discord, you can feel free to talk to me there. I am at my computer quite a lot, so I will be around to talk to people. Yes. Okay. Let's talk about how this works. So, unlike most semesters where I wouldn't really go through how do you go to office hours, Normally the answer is you walk up to a TA in their office and you talk to them. But this semester, there's a little bit of, okay. Okay, so let me pull up Discord and show you what's going on right now. And let me kind of... So here's all the stuff that's going on right now. Some people are in this voice chat. We have some lab sections going on. You should only be able to see one lab section. I can see everything because, unfortunately, I'm in charge of this mess. So if you want help, this is how you do it, okay? So right now you see that here it says that office hours have ended for now. An announcement will appear when they have reopened. And so this is how to go to office hours. So, well, you don't do this part. I'm going to do this part in secret. Let's see here. Oh, I have a better idea. I can even do it as a student, couldn't I? Yeah, maybe I'll do it as a student. So let me see here. Yes. Okay, so here's my student account. So I will open up office hours for just a second here. Where is it? Here it is. And so now you'll notice that in the waiting room, it says that office hours are live. Get in line with a request. So what you will do is you will do this and then say like bang or exclamation point request, and then you type your request. You say, I have a problem with my function that is breaking and that isn't good. And so then your message will disappear, okay? So you won't see your message anymore. But that's actually a good thing. What that means is that you're in line. And so as the professor or as a TA, I can see your request on my channel here, which is it's a channel that the TAs have that they can see your request. And so the idea here is that once you type your request, it'll be in here, and then the TA will type accept. And then once they type accept, there will be, for you as the student, you will see a text cat, unfortunately. That was a bug that we left in there. And you'll see a voice chat. And so you can get help here, do stuff, and then at the end, oh yeah, and I should say, you can go, and the reason why I attached a voice chat to each one of these is that this allows screen sharing. So if you click on this, then you can click on share your screen, and when you do that, then you'll be able to share your screen with the person who is helping you. And so that is how you will get help in office hours. So when you're done with office hours, your TA or you will probably just type in close, and once you close, it will destroy the room, and you're back to Discord. Okay, stop. Okay, cool. So, yeah, so basically the point is here that, you see all these rooms, these are all the rooms. I put my little test student in section 61 for no reason. And that's basically it. So that's how you get help in office hours. Okay, so that's the system that we worked up in about, we invented that system in about like a week last year or last semester when everything made the transition to COVID. So, so basically that's what we decided to do, and that's the system that we're still using. So you can get help that way. Okay. So yeah, the lab rooms are not office hours. The lab rooms are for the discussions, which I haven't talked about yet. So we're using Discord for a lot of different things this semester, and I'm kind of conglomerating everything together. So we just used them for office hours last semester, but this semester we're going to use them for everything. Let's see, release of projects and homeworks. So what I'm going to do is tell you, let's see. In fact, we did. We did code the bot in Python. So, okay. So, there's two ways that I'm going to release stuff. One way I'm going to release it, I'm going to probably put it as an announcement on the bulletin board. So you'll see a new assignment appear on the bulletin board. I will also send it out by Blackboard email. And so, yeah, those are the two ways that you'll get your assignments. But assume that the Blackboard email is the official assignment. I'll post it in the announcements as a kind of like secondary way to get it, so you don't have to search through your emails. But it's not going to be, I'm not going to 100% guarantee that everything gets posted. So make sure you check your email for any Blackboard links, and make sure that you do all the assignments when they're assigned. Right now, for you as my students, nothing is currently assigned. Okay, so nothing is currently required yet. Until the end of this lecture, we'll all officially assign homework 0. Okay, and so, all right, and basically the rule is, if you need an extension on something, make sure you ask before the due date and before the due time. Now, unless you have like a university-approved excuse, I can reject extension requests. But yeah, you should ask me for extensions, but generally you should have some kind of reasonable reason. It should not be, it should not be something like, I just didn't feel like working on it, and now I'm rushing to get it done. So, okay. Okay, so let's talk about the structure of midterms and the final. So this is kind of important. Well, I guess technically everything is important. So how are the midterms and the final going to work? So the midterms and the final are going to be, basically, there's going to be a multiple choice section, maybe with some true-false, and there's going to be a coding section. The coding section you're going to submit through the GL system, which I'll explain during this lecture. The multiple choice stuff will be through Blackboard. So there will be a Blackboard exam that's available when when the exam is about to come online, and that's what you have to do. All right. So, okay. Let's see, what else do we have to do? I think that's all I really want to say about exams right now. So I'll talk more about the GL system and about how the exams are working when... So basically, late work. This is the general rule. No late work will be accepted. All assignments must be submitted 11:59:59 on the due date. The lab assignments are to be done during your weekly discussion, so attendance is mandatory. Attendance is still mandatory. The assignments are going to be, the lab assignments will be due at the end of the week. Course preparedness. You're responsible for all material covered in the lecture. I think that's just lawyer speak for, if I say it and it's covered in the lecture, then you're not allowed to be like, well, I didn't know it. Okay. So if you're an SDS student, if you have accommodations, contact SDS and have them send me that email that they usually send me about your accommodations. I don't want to say any more about it. I received some of your accommodations already, and for the rest of you, if you have any SDS stuff, if you have ADHD or any other problem that you need not an extension, if you have any problem that you need any of the SDS accommodations, then I encourage you to contact SDS, and then they will contact me. Okay, and for the SDS students, the last thing to say is that it's important that you probably talk to me if you need some kind of accommodation, because a lot of the accommodations don't make sense anymore, given the fact that we are all at home. Okay. guided review sessions. Oh yeah, these are, so some of you have discussions twice a week, okay? So if you have discussions twice a week, they are called GRS sections. And those GRS sections are basically, the first section is going to be your, like a review of the material from the week, a bit of like hands-on tutorial help, all that kind of stuff. And the second lecture, or the second lab, is going to be the actual like lab for the week. And so you're required to do both if you signed up for a GRS section. So unfortunately, there's no way out of it. Cool. Yes. The first 3 GRS, I guess something like, maybe we'll keep this policy. Okay. So let's talk about academic integrity. So this is, unfortunately, the discussion that I have to have at the beginning of every semester with various students and people, right? So the issue here with academic integrity, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that, is that, okay, how do I start with this? Basically, we get a lot of problems with people cheating off of various things during the semester. What is the issue about this? So we use software to check who basically is copied and who hasn't. The other thing we do is we do look on websites like Chegg, for instance, or I think there's some other websites that we look at, and I copy-paste solutions off of those websites, and I will look at those solutions, and your code will be checked against those solutions. And so if your solution matches them, then we're going to have a discussion. So the way that it works is that you'll receive a notification if there's an instance of academic integrity violation, and then you are guaranteed like 10 to 15 minute meeting. Generally, these meetings are where I show you that your code is basically duplicated off of Chegg, or that your code is duplicated off of some other student, and then I basically say, okay, do you have anything to say? And then people will either tell me the truth or they lie to me. And one or the other way, then at the end, I'll be like, okay, 0 for the assignment, or whatever. So please do not engage in that kind of behavior. The reason why I really am begging you not to engage in that kind of behavior is that generally there's about 8 to 10% of this class that engages in some kind of academic integrity violation. And since I'm the course chair this semester, that means that I have to have up to about 50 meetings with students this semester. And this doesn't count just this section, this is all the sections. And so it basically takes about 2 weeks during the semester to do all of these meetings, and they are extremely unpleasant. And so I really just want to minimize the number of meetings that I have to have. So even if you want to cheat, think about me and be like, oh, right, it'll make his life really terrible. So for the first cheating offense, you get a 0 on the assignment, and for a second cheating offense, you get an F in the course. And so that's generally how it works, and it's right here in the syllabus. Okay, let me see, where's my mouse? Here it is, right here. Okay, and you might think he's laying it on a bit thick, he's going off on a tangent, he's talking about this too much. Why doesn't he just teach the class? You know, the reason is because the more people who take this seriously, and the more people who ask for help from your TAs, the more people who don't just copy off of Chegg, the more people who take this class seriously, the less time I have to spend on them, and the more time I get to spend on actually doing what I consider to be the job, which is actually teaching. So I hate the other part. I hate this part so much, but I do it because I'm required to do it. Yeah, so there were some questions asked about GRS. How do you sign up for GRS? Well, you sign up for GRS by signing up for one of the discussion sections that has multiple days on it. Those are all GRS sections. So if you're in a section with 2 days, that's a GRS section. And if you want to sign up for one of those sections, you have to talk to your advisor and get a special permission, I think. Or you can talk to me, and I think I can give you permission. But send me email. Don't just do it over Discord or something like that. Make sure you send me an email, and make sure that the GRS section is open before you change, because I don't want someone who's in the course to get booted out and get stuck on a wait list. Okay, so the other thing is, technically, I guess you could always, if you really wanted to attend the GRS section and not just be in the GRS section, I could allow some people to just go into the GRS sections on Discord. And that would be you'd be unofficially part of the GRS section. But if you wanted to have some extra help, then you could do that. Okay? I think that's all I have to say about the GRS sections for now. So let's finish with academic integrity stuff. So here's basically a list of the things that you can do and the things that you can't do. Can you get help from the instructor or the TA? Yes. Can you consult documentation? Yes. Can you discuss course topics? Yes. Can you create notes about the course? Absolutely. Can you get help about the GL system? A+. Can you compare other outputs? Let's be careful. Compare outputs from other people's assignments. Outputs from other people's assignments. Yes, the GRS section meets on Discord as well. So discussing how to test your code. Yes, and I'll explain the difference when we get to certain things, but yes, you're allowed to do this. Borrowing verbatim from the course slides or book. Sure, I guess. We are not going to ask questions that are exactly from the course slides or book, so there's not going to be some instance where it's like, well, I copied the answer directly onto my homework. Is that okay? This will never happen, so who cares? Working together on practice problems. Yes. And so here's the thing. Actually, I'm gonna just take all this stuff out here. There we go. Simple. Helping someone debug their code. Don't do it. All right? You might think, but I'm a great programmer and my friend needs help and all this stuff. The problem is that if you end up writing their code, or if they end up, what happens more along the lines is people will pull up their own answer and they'll use it to help the other person. And then when you do that, your code and their code look so similar that it looks like you copied, and then you'll get caught. So don't do that, okay? Planning a general design for your program. I think this is actually, I'm going to say that this is marginal. It depends exactly what you're doing. But I agree with it saying not allowed, just out of safety. If you talk extremely generally about your project, that's okay. But don't be like, oh, the first thing I did was then I checked this user input, and then I created this function, and then I created this function, and this function does this, and I used 2 for loops for this point. You know, if you start describing things in that level of detail, that is not a general design. That's not what I mean by that. So, brainstorming general solutions, generally not allowed. This is extreme. I actually don't think that this is 100% not allowed, and of course we'll never catch you if you brainstorm. But the problem is that what they mean by not allowed here is that brainstorming will lead to you sitting down and coding up the same thing, and don't do that. Explaining why you made a specific... Yeah, I mean, that's the most important thing here. Specific. Whoops. Don't explain any specific decisions. Looking at someone else's code on their screen with their permission, or without. You know? So, and then here's the without part. So don't do that. Right, so basically all of this stuff is not allowed. I'm going to say generally don't discuss how you design the program with other people. Now, are you allowed to say, oh, you know, I did this one thing? Like, if it's a one-sentence explanation of what you did, that's probably okay. If you spend 2 or 3 minutes describing exactly what you've done, then that's not allowed. And so that's why we generally say just don't do it. We draw the line extremely conservatively, and it's possible that, I mean, there's a lot of activity in here that you'd be like, well, you know, all right. Let's see. Oh, wait, no. Unhidden. No, I want to view the deleted message, and now I want to hide. Okay, cool. So I guess we'll need some moderators already. Sucks, but whatever. Okay. I'll get some TAs to help moderate the channel. Alright. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, so the basic general idea here is just pretend like your assignment is classified. Pretend like you're not allowed to talk about your work with other people in the class. And you'll be safe from any of this. I mean, in future classes, we allow more collaboration. So, are you allowed to talk with a mentor or a friend? Sort of. I mean, be very careful. Don't let people just code up solutions for you. But you can discuss things with people. Generally, I would say be very careful about that. But other than that, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to ban it, but also be very careful. Especially if you have a tutor, and that tutor is tutoring multiple people, make sure that you write up your own solution to each problem. Because if the tutor shows you, like, oh, this is how I solved the problem, and then you basically copy that solution into 2 people's thing, so then that's not allowed. Okay. And that's really all I want to discuss about the syllabus. So once we get past all this, so hopefully we don't have to talk about academic integrity anymore this semester. If you have any questions about it, I will be more, I'm open to taking questions. Yeah, I mean, really the answer is you just have to do your own work. And I know that this is like the strictest, after the end of, you can upload stuff after the end of the semester. If you do it during the semester, keep it private during the semester. Okay? Or just don't. What do I have? I have a quad monitor set up here. Whoops, it's not rotating. Here we go. So, yeah. Okay. So now let's start with stuff. Yeah, so I have a quad monitor set up because that's what happens when I look up. So monitors are up. Okay. So let's begin the course now. Okay. So there's a list of things that I need to cover. And so let's start the first thing. So the first thing is the GL servers. So let me show you, if you're on a, I do have a Rainbow keyboard. So let me show you, okay, let me pull down a browser. and show you some stuff. So if you search PuTTY, you can download PuTTY. I'll tell you about Pycharm in just a second. So this is if you're on a Windows machine, okay? So if you're on Windows, then you can download PuTTY, and then you'll download PuTTY clicking here. And if you're on Windows, you can go to either one of these probably. I'd probably do the 64-bit installer because I feel like 64-bit stuff. So, so this is where you would go. And so basically, I am going to, so let's pretend like you downloaded PuTTY, all right? So you've downloaded PuTTY now, and you boot it up. You won't have these sessions here because these are some of mine, but what you can do is you can type in gl.umbc.edu here, and you should just keep, no, PuTTY is not equal to Pycharm. PuTTY is this particular thing. Let me, let's see, what do I have under here? Just the syllabus, okay. So then you click open, and then it opens, and then it'll say log in as, okay? Oh yeah, and for Mac, you can actually open up a terminal. I'll go into that in just a second. So for Linux and Mac, open a terminal, and you have to use the SSH command. So if you use the SSH command, you're going to see it say login as, so I'm going to type in Eric8, enter. And then I'm going to type in my password, which is password. And so you might notice that nothing happens. So it's okay because Linux does not, or Unix and Linux do not move the cursor when you type in your password. So then you hit enter, and then it'll sign you in. And this is what you'll generally see. You will see, cool. You will see just this. And let me see if I can adjust the font size. Let's see, where does it say? Appearance. Yes, I can adjust the font to say size 20. Apply. There we go. So, oh, sorry. Okay. Your password should be the password that you use to sign on to UMD. So, choose your login name. You have to type your login name. So, right. Oh, if you're in Linux, well, okay. There's too much to say in one moment. So let me just say a few things now. So let's. Well, so SSH. If you have Windows 10 and you have some things, you can use SSH on Windows. The host name is gl.umbc.edu. So okay, once you've logged in. So what you get to do is this. Now you're in a Linux command line. So what that means is there's a few commands that you should know. For instance, pwd will tell you where you are. So if you hit that, it'll say afs umbc.edu, users, eric8, and home. Nice. So what else do you do? You can type ls, and that will show you all the files and directories at your current position. Okay? All right? Cool. And what else? So, all right. The last thing to say is that your password should be your UMBC password. There are a few people for which it may not work, but if it works, then you're good and you're in. Otherwise, you're not in, and it's not as good. So, okay, okay, so let me see what I have here. Cool. So now let me show you a little bit about homework 0. Let me see. Where do I have homework 0? Let me pull it up. Theoretically, I should have done this before class, but I was so busy getting everybody signed into the Discord that I was not paying attention. Okay. So, I'll be sending out a link to this, but right now you can go to this. So if you're on a Mac, you don't need this. What you can do, if you're in Linux or a Mac, let me show you what you can do. Let me see if my Ubuntu will work. So Mac is the same as Linux, actually. You just have to open a terminal. And I'll post this link. Okay. Is that right? Let's see. I forget my password on this virtual machine. Crap. Okay, can't do that. All right. Wow, that was embarrassing. I can't it's been a long time since I've logged into this Ubuntu installation. Nope. One last try. Is it working or has it died? Oh, it worked. Look at that. Okay, so if you're in Linux, you can open a terminal. And what you can do here is you can go SSH, and this is the same for Mac. SSH gl.umbc.edu. But what you need to do this time is do a -L and type in your username, because otherwise it's going to use your username on your local installation, and you don't want that because my username is not the same. And so then you would do the same thing here. You would type in your password. And then you're logged in. And you see that you have the same thing. You're at the same directory on the Linux server. Okay? So, okay. Cool. Now let's talk about how to actually use this stuff, right? We want to deal with homework 0. So, let me pull up homework 0. So this is assuming that you're already in the Linux thing. So this is why I did this little tutorial about how to log into Linux. Log into what we call the GL servers, which are the Linux servers that we use for code development at UMBC. So once you're logged into these Linux servers, what you're going to do is So now, normally you would do cd space CMSC 201, but I'm actually going to tell you to do something different. I'm going to say mkdir CMSC 201, right? And I'm going to make it demo. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to do it because I want it to be demo. And so now you see that my CMSC 201 demo directory has now been created. Cool, and you won't have nearly this much crap. I just have this crap because I've been around for a while. So then in order to change directories, remember your current position is at home, right here. So your current position is home. And so what you want to do is go cd CMSC 201, and you won't type in demo, but I'm typing in demo. Whoops. And of course I didn't do that right. There we go. Wait, what did I do? Oh crap, okay, it worked, but okay. All right, cool. There we go. So, crap, that was not intentional. All right. Sorry about that, I did something wrong. Now I have to log in again. Okay. So, okay. So, now that we are all in the CMSC 201 folder, we are going to create another directory, mkdir labs. And I'm not going to do anything with that. If you do ls, you'll see that directory. And then we can make another directory for homework. Okay? Okay, let's clear this. So what is my current position? My current position is afs.umbc.edu, users, eric8 home, and then CMSC 201 demo. Cool. So now I'm going to cd into the homeworks directory, and now I'm in the homeworks directory. So basically that's what it's telling you to do at the beginning of homework 0. So yeah, so basically all we've done right now is just created 2 directories to hold all the files that you need for this class. Okay. So, cool. So now within that directory, you're going to create another folder called homework 0. Maybe capital, I don't know. It doesn't matter if it's capital or lowercase. Oh, and by the way, if you tab, it will autocomplete. Okay. So at this point, I'm about to do... if you want to delete a directory, you can do rmdir. So for instance, if you... let's say I create, like, make dir blah blah, and I'm like, well, I don't want that to exist anymore. So you can do rmdir, and it will remove it for you. So okay, so let's go to the homework 0 directory. And so now what we're going to do, and let's not get into the wars about VI versus Emacs and all that crap. I'm just going to use Emacs and open up homework0.py. Okay? And so when it opens up, you'll see basically nothing right now. But you'll, in the homework 0, it says to create this header. So I'll copy and paste the header. So you'll change your name to Eric. Today's date to, I guess, 8/31. Your lab section, I'll say 51. You don't really have to do this. I guess that doesn't matter. Description, you can leave that as is. Okay? And so, in order to save on Emacs, you have to hit Control X and then Control S. All right? So Control X will start the, it will ask Emacs to be ready for a command, and Control S tells it to save. Yes, let's save. So if, basically, you need to say Emacs homework0.py. That's how you do it. All right? So yeah, to get here, you'll say, okay, so now to finish homework 0, what you do, can you use Atom? I don't know. Yeah, to save is Control plus X, Control plus S. And then hang on everybody. And so the one thing you're required to do is you're required to type print. This is going to be a great semester. And keep in mind that this is we are going to be using, if you've done any Python before, we are using Python 3, not 2. So all print statements must have the parens. I mean, really, the right answer is just to Google okay, so now to exit, you hit Control X, Control C. And so that'll exit. All right. Cool. So at this point, we have, and if you just do ls, then you'll see homework0.py and homework0.py tilde. This is an Emacs backup file on the server, and you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so what's the next step? The next step is to submit, right? So now you want to be done with this assignment. Well, technically you do need Python. What do you download for a Chromebook? Oh, that's a hard question. I'll deal with that later. So, okay. All right. For all the people who are saying they're confused, what are you confused about? It doesn't help to say you're confused. I mean, what part is confusing? Right? Am I right? Am I crazy? I'm pretty crazy. Well, who cares what it means, right? Just do, basically you're just following the instructions, right? You're just doing exactly what I say. And eventually you'll figure all this stuff out. Like right now we are just, so yeah, on Windows, you should download PuTTY and log into gl.umd.edu. A directory is a folder where you have files. What do you download for Mac? You don't have to download anything. You just SSH. I have a Mac and I just got my thing set up. Is this video going to be saved? Yes, of course. Homework 0 is definitely going to, yeah, I've said that, yes. You don't need Python on your device yet. I haven't showed you anything about how to do that yet. I mean, you know. So, okay. How do I log into Putty after I download it? Okay, cool. So, again, yeah, to log into Putty, you'll open up Putty, and then into this host thing, you type in gl.umbc.edu, hit enter, and then you type in your name, and you type in your password. And then that logs you in. So I'm going to kill this Putty now. Yes, I would like to kill that Putty. I'm going to minimize this Putty, so we're back to here. So basically, I was logged into the server 3 different times in 3 different terminals. Okay, anyway, so now here we're at the Linux command prompt. So this is the Linux terminal. Maybe I'll even make the font bigger. Set character encoding, no. Make it bigger. No. Preferences. Global. Maybe I can go to font size. Text. There we go. Oh yeah, and when you get the Putty security alert, you should click yes. It's adding a key to like a file. Okay, don't spam the chat. Okay, cool. All right. It doesn't matter whether you download 32 or 64-bit. What command do you type in the terminal for MacBook? You type in ssh gl.umbc.edu -l and then your name. Or not your name, your UMBC email, but not with the at part. Yes, that's true. They are for the UMBC account. Okay, so now I want to get to actually running this thing. So in order to run something in Python, you will say Python 3 hw0 .py and it will print out this is going to be a great semester. Well, after you're logged in, then you have to go through all the stuff that I just did, right? I'm not going to go over it again because we don't have enough time. So, all right. Okay, so, and if you need to rewatch parts of this video, you can definitely do that, right? You don't have to do this in real time. So, and for the people who are saying that you're having trouble logging in, check your caps lock, make sure everything is case sensitive, and if you're still having problems, then then contact me. Homework 0 is literally this, right? I am doing homework 0 right now. In fact, I'm almost done with homework 0. There is one last thing I have to do in order to finish homework 0, which is the following. I have to submit it to these submission directories. So basically, we type in submit, and you submit, and this is required to be done verbatim, CMSC 201, and it's not CS 201, it's not anything else, it's CMSC 201, capital H, capital W, 0, and then the file, which is lowercase h, lowercase w, 0.py. And then it'll say submitting homework0.py ... okay. And so you can check to see if your thing has been submitted properly by using submit ls CMSC 201 HW0 all in caps, enter. And so I submitted this names.py file before, but this is the file I just submitted. You don't have to do this part because that's not part of the homework. That was literally just me testing out the submit system. But yes, you do have to submit hw0.py, homework0.py. Okay. And so once you've done this, you are finished with homework 0 and you get 10 points. Okay, that's what you have to do. Until you're done, until you have submit ls and seen that your homework0.py file is in this directory, then you are not done. But when you are finished, this is when you are finished. When you submit ls and you see it. Technically, you're done when you've submitted and it's submitted okay, but you should always check to make sure that it's actually there and nothing weird happened. Okay? Okay. So the file must be named homework hw0.py. Okay? hw0.py. If it is named anything else, your TA may get mad at you and not grade it. Okay? So this is a can I follow the instructions? This is not a let's name it something creative. Okay. And so with that, that's it, right? And so this is if you read through the rest of this, this is literally just going through what I've just done. Okay, again, as I say, if you need help doing this stuff, I will be around to help you get all of this stuff set up. It is impossible for me to deal with everybody's questions in real time. If you're getting access denied, then you're either typing your password wrong, or we need to contact the Department of Information Technology, the DOIT, Do It people, and they will make sure that everything is reset. Okay? All right. Cool. So once we're all done with homework 0, I guess we can move on to talking about what if you actually want to do some Python development on your own machine. So let me put that away for a second. So I'm sure everybody wants to know how to get Pycharm. So I'll tell you. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to do that yet. So if you Google, like google.com, if you Google Python, okay? Then don't go to this. This is no good. I haven't posted homework 0 yet. I sent it out as a link. Some people looked at it. Let me see. Homework 0. So don't go to this. Go to Python. And once you're at Python, then you go to downloads. And then it really doesn't matter what you download. So like, there's a bunch of different versions of Python here. Honestly, you see how Python 3.8.5 is the latest version? You click download. And you save it. Okay, that's it. And then you install Python from there. So basically you go there, and then you go Python, and then you run it. And so I'm not going to install this because I don't want to mess with my Python installation. But this is what you do. You go install now, and you just go through this. So I'm going to cancel this installation. But yeah, this is technically what you do. Okay? All right, and now let's imagine that so what does that do? What does installing Python do? So how do you test to see if Python is working? If Python is working, then you can open up, I guess, a PowerShell maybe? Wait, what? Deuce? No, stop that. So if you don't know how to open up a PowerShell, you just hit Start and then type in PowerShell and hit Enter when it says Windows PowerShell, and it should bring this up. So let's see what version I'm running. Oh. Is it actually doing anything? Okay, cool. The other way to test it is you can type in IDLE, and idle should come up. And let me show you what idle looks like. So idle looks like this. Is it okay if we use Visual Studio to code? Yes. So here you can just type in Python code. So you can just type in print hello, and it will print hello. You can type in s equals input what's up, and now it's going to be like what's up. And then you can, I think, hit s, and then it'll display the variable, stuff like that. So basically, this is the way to test to see if Python 3 is working. Currently, my latest version is 3.73, so you can see I don't really update my Python very often, and it really doesn't matter. So, so this tests to see if Python is working on your machine, right? Now, this is not just the command prompt. So if I just type in CMD and I get the command prompt, let me see if I can, oh, why is it doing that? Okay. Stupid Windows. Okay. Yeah, command prompt is stupid, so I'm ignoring it right now. How do you copy and paste? Depends which operating system and which thing. Normally it's Control-C, Control-V, but in Emacs it's not going to do that. So, okay. But now this is really terrible, right? Print. This is a terrible way to develop. You don't want to use this. So let's download Pycharm. So Pycharm is different from Python. You can basically code on Pycharm and copy paste and put a yes. So here you'll go to JetBrains and go to the Python IDE, and you will download this. And so for most of you, you can download the community version for now. You really don't need the professional version. And so it has one for Windows, Mac, and Linux. And so I recommend that you download Python first before you download Pycharm, because Pycharm will find your installation of Python if you already have Python installed. But if you don't have Python installed, then you're going to have to do a lot more annoying work. You're going to have to show Pycharm where your stuff is and blah, blah, blah. Okay. It does not matter what IDE you use. I am simply telling people to use Pycharm because it's the one I use, and it's going to be the best for this course, and it'll be good for office hours and lots of other reasons. But other than that, you can use whatever you like. So yeah, once you download Pycharm, you'll boot it up, and let's see, what do you get? You won't get this yet. You're going to get an opening screen, which tells, it's basically, I think your opening screen is going to be something like, do you want to create a new project? And so you can create a new project. So if you downloaded Pycharm and not Python, then what you'll need to do is go into the settings and tell it, like if you hit Control-Alt-S, and then you have to find the Python installation, unfortunately. So you have to go to, where is it? It's project interpreter, and then you'll have to use settings and add, and you'll have to scan your computer for the right place. Like you'll have to find your base interpreter. But for most people, what you can do is just create a new project. So you can create the CS201 whatever project. This really doesn't matter. And then you can basically create, so what you can do is right-click on the project name and create a Python file. And I'm going to call it test.py. And there we go. So now we are coding in Python. All right. So, all right. And so now you can say something like print, this is the best fun I've ever had. Of course, I need to be very careful. And in order to run this file, what you can do is you right-click on it and you click Run, and then you'll have this output console here. Let me fix this. Cool. So, right. All right, so that basically ends the first lecture of this course. Only 4 minutes late, but whatever. So the moral of the story here is that if you're confused about this, if you're lost, if you need help getting either PuTTY or Pycharm or SSH or whatever you want to try to get to work, then I guess you should either email me or talk to me on the Discord, and we will get everything working, okay? So, okay, so I'm going to end the lecture now, and I'm going to get back on Discord. And anybody who is interested in getting help, I will open up office hours, and you can get help from me there, okay? And I will sit around for a few more minutes, and I will get everybody as logged in as possible, or we'll send some help requests or whatever. I also am going to post lecture notes. Now, you notice that I didn't use my lecture slides, and I will not be using my lecture slides, but I have written up lecture slides. The lecture slides basically say everything that I said in class, except instead of showing you what I'm doing, they would actually just kind of have a picture of what I would do otherwise. So that's why I'm just doing it instead of having lecture slides, but I will post the lecture slides so you can kind of follow them. All right, so I'm going to open up office hours, and remember, you go in and you hit request, and oh yes, no labs this week, officially. If your TA wants to talk to you, if your TA wants to have fun, that's fine. Otherwise, yes. No. Okay. I'm going to let everybody go now. So have a good time. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you on Discord if you need any help. I haven't posted the lecture notes yet. But I'm signing off now, and I'll get to posting everything. They'll be posted on Blackboard. So I'll just type this Blackboard. All right. Where is OBS? Where are you? All right, later, people.